Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by saying Barakatah, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Salutations to all of the sincere Akim across the four corners of the globe that push this truth with no due diligence and sincerity. I've been saying for a minute that the French are not to be messed around with, and they keep on proving it. More than 100 police officers are injured with some set on fire as 800 French protesters take to the streets to oppose Macron's controversial pension reform, while May Day worker demonstrations take place around the world. Uprisings, man. Uprisings of the people in diverse places, and in France in particular, they're rioting and other workers striking. Excuse me, because their president is trying to increase the age at which they'll be able to access their pensions by 2 years. If my memory serves me correct, it's circa from 62 to about 64. And so 800,000 French citizens rioting, man. With over 100 police officers being injured in the process and some of them being set on fire. Now, there's videos all over the place. You can go look them up. I don't want to, play the wrong video and get the trigger sensors going. But as you can see, the police weren't having a good day in France, man. And at the end of the day, they're just pawns anyway. They're just the muscle that protects the elites, man, and their lesser luminaries, being the politicians and such. However, that article right there happened a couple of days ago, and it's testament to the fact that in the last days, real perilous times are going to come, man. People are going to lose all sense of empathy and really just be out here, man, in a purge spirit. And that's why we're going to need the Lord Yahweh Basham Yahushai with us. And it's important to get that spirit, man. And get the Lord's mercy while the doors of mercy are open. Because when the Lord closes that down, Amos 5 and 18, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, meaning destruction. To what end is it? Woe means destruction. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Yeah, the Lord described it as a scene where a man fled from a lion and a bear met him, or went into a house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Basically, meaning that no matter what you try to do, there's going to be some form of danger, man. Yeah, hell. Yahweh Shai himself, in the book of Luke, said he's come to bring fire. One second, come. Yeah, uh, if it be already kindled. That's it. Luke 12 and 49. News and Luke just forgot the exact location. Luke 12 and 49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? Now, when you go into the etymology, the phrase there, what will I, goes into the Greek word fellow, meaning will to intend, meaning that he's come to send fire on the earth and he intends for fire to be already kindled by the time he gets here, like the fire to have started and for him to add more onto it. Yeah, what you saw in France with those 100 police officers injured, yeah, with a couple of them getting set on fire is nothing. You think that's inhumane? You think that's dark? You just wait until the Heavenly Father really opens up in this place and allows that spirit of desperation to really circulate. I keep saying it week in, week out, but it's going to be a time of trouble such as never has been seen upon the face of the planet Earth, man. And all of the ancient prophets from the Old to the Testament to the New Testament, man, prophesied of this day. The prophet Habakkuk spoke about the day, man, and he basically was so shocked at the level of destruction. Yeah, he said, Yahweh, Habakkuk 3 and 8. Yeah, because he saw all the destruction. Look, he said in Habakkuk 3 and 5, before him went pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth, and beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. He's looking at the return of the Lord and the force in which he came back with, and he looked at it and thought everything on the earth was getting flattened, man. Nothing could stand in his way. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was the Lord Yahweh displeased at the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thy chariots and thy horses and thy chariots of salvation? A Habakkuk said, Lord, were you so pissed off at the earth itself that you came with your chariots of salvation and basically obliterated everything, man? Verse 10, the mountains saw thee and they trembled, the overflowing of the water passed by, the deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. The sun and the moon stood still in their habitation, at the light of thine arrows they went, and as the shining of thy glittering spear. Thou did march through the land in indignation, thou didst thresh the heathens in anger. Fuck you know. Listen, Habakkuk saw it and he had to hide himself. Esdras was afraid to the point where he was sick. John the Revelator saw the visions, but he was distressed. You gotta understand that this time that we're coming into is gonna be a time of such extreme judgment, man. The earth is not ready for what's coming. These people out here are still in that happy-go-lucky spirit, man. No matter how bad it gets, they're out here partying. They're trying to live their best, so-called best life. But that's because the day of the Lord has to come as a thief in the night, as it's prophesied. Meaning that these people, no matter how bad it gets, are gonna continue to be ignorant, man. But Esau Edom is going to continue to slowly take away their rights. They're gonna slowly get more and more desperate, and as a result of that, more and more wicked, man. And you gotta understand that the Lord is gonna, man. There's accounts in the scriptures of extreme famine where women were eating their own children. Yeah, you got the flood of Noah, the plagues of Egypt. Yeah, you got what the Lord did had us do to the Canaanites. What happened to us in 70 A.D. man, and the wider extracurricular history. And still, our people are out here playing games. But it's all good. Matthew's the 24th chapter. Let me start from just a second. Cause this goes into the Roman Empire. Just a sec. Earthquakes. Yeah, gone. All right. So we got. I like the account in Luke. Just a second. This is Luke the 21st chapter. I'm gonna start from verse 10. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall be there from heaven. Shall there be from heaven? Yeah. It says great earthquakes shall be in diverse places. Even in England over here, a land that has never really experienced earthquakes and tremors like that, we've been seeing a lot of them. Famines, yeah, lack of food. I went into a restaurant yesterday that shut 3 hours early because they had run out of food. Imagine that sign of things to come. And people are not paying attention. They're just thinking, oh, it's just a one-off. Listen, the Lord is building up the story, man. Bill Gates in the land of Babylon is the largest owner of farmland in America. Think about that, man. Bill the hell Gates. Anyway, and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all these, yep, they shall lay hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into the prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake, and they shall turn to you for a testimony. Yeah, hey, so we're gonna go through hell also, but ultimately the Lord is gonna be with us, and that's the difference. These people out here are just lambs for the slaughter, man. Charcoal for the fire. Yeah, and that's why the Lord said, Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate what you shall say, what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. Hey, and you shall be. So we're gonna be filled with the Spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh we endure. However, it goes on to then say, and you shall be betrayed by both parents and brethren and kinsfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, and you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But it's a rightful thing to be hated for, yeah? Hey, because our Lord Yahweh Shai laid his life down for us, man. And at the end of the day, the servant is not greater than his master. If they've hated the Lord, they're gonna hate us too. But fuck this world. If this world hates me, I don't give a fuck. This place needs to go, man. And that's why, at the end of the day, even if you gotta lay your life down for this thing, do what you gotta do. This place is over, man. It's completely over. You gotta understand that there's no listen. The financial situation there's no turning that back, and these elites at the end of the day are trying to bring forth that digitalization, and the moment they start rolling with that chip, when that chip starts getting rolled out on a mainstream mass level, man, you best believe the clock's going to tick, continue to tick even faster. They're doing human trials where they're healing blindness with brain chips and all of that at the moment. Yeah, you got Musk going on about his AI chips. People are out here. Sweden is the hub of the chip, and I'm telling you that technology is continuing to become more and more popular. The infrastructure is getting speedily prepared, and ultimately, there's going to come a point in time where Revelations 13 to 16 is going to be a real thing, and you're going to see riots and uprisings then also, because people, you got Christians you got Edomite Christians that ain't gonna get down with that. You got Jake in the world that ain't necessarily in the truth that ain't gonna get down with that. Of course, we're not touching that shit, you know. And there's gonna be uprisings of the people. There's gonna be disdain, and the elites are prepared for that. That's why they've gone around certain states in America and have withdrawn all the guns. That's why, ultimately speaking, they they're trying to depopulate the earth also quick, because at the end of the day, their agenda is to thin the herd and have whoever's left in total control and subjection, and the people are going to riot against that. That's why the French are rioting against the pension reform at the moment, and that's just a 2 year increase. So you're going to see real hell when things get real. You're going to see things turn for the worse. A time of evil, man, as is written in Ezekiel, the 7th chapter and the 5th verse, like has never been seen before. Anyway, Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, verse 13. Yeah, time of darkness. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe, meaning destruction to them that woe to the world and them that dwell therein, destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, ill feeling, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. If those protesters had got into Macron's home, or somehow got into his offices, they would have killed that guy, man. And that's the kind of spirit that's going to be going on out here. These people are going to feel betrayed by their leaders that were supposed to continue keep their cities and their mirth and the land prospering continuously. Although that their agenda was always to crash the system and merge with a new one, with them as serfs and service and under servitude. But ultimately, these people are going to lose it, man, because they really do believe that this society is supposed to continue on for them, that they're supposed to be able to, like in America, make the land great again, or Europe's going to bounce back from the recession that it's currently in, and all the years of COVID are going to be a thing of the past, and everything's going to be all bliss. That's what these people genuinely believe. These average people out here think they're going to be able to grow old and have pensions and give their houses to their children. So when this gets taken away from them, they're going to lose it. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Scary time, man. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So, I mean, hey, man, dark times, man. We're already in it, but dark times are really gonna show that are gonna really gonna rear their head, man. And at the end of the day, only thing we can do is continue to trust and maintain that trust for Yahweh Bashim, trust in and continue to do so, um, maintaining that trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because this time that we're living in is gonna get continuously evil, man. Even more dire than what we see right now. And the only way we're gonna make it out of this is the Lord, man. Lord willing, covering us with his feathers, calling us up into those chambers, which are those chariots, because carnally, man, we're not gonna be able to fight this. Only with the Lord is and his spiritual intervention, man. him raising up that standard for us. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai routers us. Why? It's how we're going to be able to survive. Hence why it's important to get into this word, wrap yourself up in the comfort of these words, and Lord willing, man. May the Lord Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, have mercy upon us and our families for the work that we put in and the faith that we show. And hey, dark times are coming. Make sure you're prepared. Say it again. Shalom.